Welcome back into Twin Cities Live. So a big thanks to Chu Vision Institute. We have Vikings legend in studio for this week's edition of Watch It, Read, Listen. It's Robert Smith. He played for... It did. He's wrong with his soggy sock right there. He played running back for 8 seasons and part of the team's 50 greatest Vikings.
All right, Robert is here to explain that sloppy sock situation and to recap last night's game. And he's got a way for one of you to go see the Vikings play in London. It's so nice to have you here.
It's so
Good
great
to
to
see
be
you.
here. Thank you. You know, the funny thing is, so my older brother, rest in peace, he was a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
And so this is like 77, 78 when I was 5 or 6 years. And he was a Cowboys fan, so I wanted to root against the other side.
Yeah.
Or root against him, so I picked the other side. So I became a Steelers fan growing up in Cleveland, which is like being a Packers fan here, right?
Yeah.
Total sacrilege. But I grew up a huge Steelers fan. And that game was my first time playing in Three River Stadium. I had fun. We talk about coming back, you know, like last night with JJ, with the interception, coming back, winning the game. I fumbled early in that game. It was my first NFL fumble. And I'm like, I got to come back and, you know, do something. That was my first run of more than 50 yards in the NFL.
No
so
way.
you can put yourself in J.J. McCarthy's shoes. And the fact that, like, you feel like when he threw that pick 6 and you fumbled in that game, you feel like you let everybody down.
Yeah,
like, how do you...
there's just nowhere to go. I think it's probably a little worse with running backs and fumbling than quarterbacks, just because of the number of things that can happen, the ways that interceptions can happen with tips, things like that. But I'll never forget, Herm Edwards said it to me, and you know this as a defensive guy, but Herm Edwards, defensive-minded coach, he said, look, man, when we have a rookie quarterback on our team as a defense, be ready. And you know Herm, he's like, hey, he's going to throw the ball to other team. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. But it's not that it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen and how do you respond to it. I was just so excited to see that from him, not just because obviously, you know, being a fan, watching the Vikings win, but seeing the way that he responded. And we talked about that, just how that sets a guy up and how much it can boost his confidence. But you know what? Most important play is always the next one. You got to forget that one before.
You got to just let it go.
Yeah.
I wonder too, though, if just a little mistake though does take the air out of the room a little bit. Like it's like, all right, I did it. Now we got to just move forward.
Yeah, there's definitely something to that because that happens, I think, with streaks.
Yeah.
Like with you know, I think just subconsciously quarterbacks that have a long streak, no interceptions, and then they're like, maybe I shouldn't take that chance. Maybe that pops into their head and. Look, the bottom line is, if you wait until people are open in the NFL, or if you wait, or if you stare people down, you're going to throw the ball to the other team.
Yeah, they're too
right?
fast.
So you have to take some chances, and you're going to throw interceptions in the NFL. Period.
Yeah, the best way to not make mistakes is to stay aggressive.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's the whole concept. In college, our coach would say the guys that get injured are the guys that stop moving their feet.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's like you always got to be moving your feet, whether mentally or physically moving your feet, because that's the best way to like mitigate any sort of negative situation.
Interesting.
So, yeah, very cool.
You guys, your shop talk is so good.
I know.
I like this breaking down. I think it's very interesting. Let's talk about your company, though. Can I just say, someone who comes in and sits on our sofa like this, I know it's going to be a good interview because they're just ready to relax and just have a chat.
Just have a chat.
It's a conversation.
I came in, I saw Ben's shoes, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to bust out the Nightmare Before Christmas. Let's have some fun.
It's so fun. Okay, so your company is called Fan Huddle. Tell us about
Fan
it.
Huddle.
And then how are you going to give somebody a trip to London? We want to know all the details.
Yeah, so Fan Huddle was really founded on the notion that we want to use something that people are passionate about, their teams, their schools, their athletes, cities, use that to encourage them to live happier and healthier lives, and then give them the tools to do it, whether that's content from current or former professional athletes, the ability to get in these challenges. We talked about that, like you can set up virtual movement challenges with your friends. It automatically counts reps, and you can set up these competitions. You can win rewards for that.
Sweet.
And with this, I don't want to get into the long story of the conversations I had with my attorney. Got to make it a sweepstakes. It's free. You just have people, and we weren't going to charge people, but we were going to say you got to have a minimum number of steps, and you got to take some quizzes. But anybody that logs in and signs up, you go to fanhuddle.live, you'll be directed to the App Store. We're working with a company called Wellnify. They got a great app with that proprietary machine learning. It's really cool.
Sweet.
And so anybody can win. And the coolest part about this the Vikings winner, because there's Vikings versus the Browns. I was at the Browns game. The Vikings winner, they're going to be flying back from London with Ben and the crew.
No.
Oh, they're going to be on our team charter.
On the team charter. Can you imagine that? You and Bursich on the plane together.
Oh,
I'm sure Johnny made a message for us and sent it out yesterday. The winner's going to get a chance. You know, Johnny will be over there in London with them. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing.
Oh, wow. I wonder if you get unlimited Uncrustables on the plane.
Well, you get first class service. Everybody does on that plane.
The package that the Vikings put together for this was just unbelievable, and I want to thank them. They've just been incredible through this whole process. So I'm leaving here, going back to Dallas tonight, call the Illinois versus Western Michigan game this weekend. I'll be back here Sunday, and then we're going to be at the game, and Human Power Performance, high performance company here, based in Minneapolis. They're going to be outside the game with us. The tent, we're going to have some displays set up. People can do some force plates. They can test their vertical.
Sweet.
And but it's going to be on the scoreboards and all that stuff. But go ahead over to fanhuddle.live and you can register now. And again, anybody can win.
You can win.
Love
okay,
it. Great
let's
package.
bust through what you're watching, reading, and listening to, because we're having too much fun with you. We got to make sure that we get the people what we promised. You're watching something called Hunting Wives.
Yeah, well,
which I heard is a little racy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's why I was watching it. Yeah, it's a great show. Good mystery in it. Very engaging program.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it, and I saw the oil derricks there, I think, too. Landman was pretty good. I'm excited about part 2 of that.
Oh, my husband's so into Landman.
The White Lotus, those were good
I just
programs.
finished last night.
I know. I got to get back into Landman. We kind of got off the train a little bit. I need to get back into it because I did really enjoy it. What you're reading is from kind of a mutual friend of ours. This is by Chris Meyers. That deserves a wow. What do you like about this?
Yeah, I mean, this book was actually incredible. I had no idea. Chris Meyers is like larger than life. You know, you talk about, was it Ron Burgundy?
Yeah.
You know, the Anchorman. Like he's the real life Ron Burgundy. Like he was 16 years old in Miami and interviewed Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
What? Yes. He was 16 years old, interviewed Muhammad Ali. He was at the earthquake game. In baseball.
Yeah.
He was the first guy that interviewed OJ after the trial.
What? So he tells all these stories?
Yes.
Yeah, he works at Fox Sports now.
Yeah.
And
All these, I mean, and you know, terrible tragedy with Dale Earnhardt, but he was there for that. He was, at all these just incredible events, and to hear his perspective on these things, and Bill Murray's a good friend of his, wrote the foreword, and I know Bill Murray has the ties with the baseball team up here as well. So good stuff.
Oh, I got to read that.
I know. So were you a part of that? There was one of the Fox conferences that I was a part of, and probably you were there, where he like roasted everybody in the room.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable. I've never seen his personality come out like. I mean, he roasted everybody in the room.
Well, fortunately, I've had an opportunity to call NFL games with him. So in 22 and 23, I called NFL for Fox after calling college. And then last year, they hired this guy. I forget his name. Oh, Tom Brady. Yeah, so they hired Tom Brady, so they knocked everybody down a rung in the NFL, and there were no more rungs left. So I was back to college football. But Chris and I call some games from time to time, and like when he's like that stand-up comedian, but just he's got so many stories, and my kind of humor. It's just so great to call games with him. But that book, the stories around sports that he's seen, the Atlanta bombing, he was around all of it.
He was around all
really
of it.
cool.
All right, you're listening to Beck, and that's all we have time to say. You're listening to Beck. Why not listen to Beck?
I took Prince, my favorite all-time artist. Beck is my favorite living artist.
There you go.
I mean, the diversity, the number of instruments that they can play. I took my kids to see him in New York last year at Carnegie Hall, 75-piece orchestra.
Oh,
that's
my
incredible.
gosh.
Great artist. Great to have you in the studio. Again, head to fanhuddle.live for your chance to win that trip to see the Vikings play the Browns in London, and meet me on the plane coming back. The deadline to enter is September 21st. We'll be right back.